Earning rare gobblegums inside of Black Ops 6 Zombies can seem pretty confusing and also kind of annoying, considering you don't really get many. Well, today we're going to cover a strategy that I use to get a ton of perkaholics, a ton of on the houses, and all the other good rare gobblegums that you are going to need inside of Black Ops 6 Zombies. Drop a like, subscribe to the channel, and enjoy the video. Alright, so we are currently loading inside of Liberty Falls. Now, I do want to keep a disclaimer that I'm going to try and make this setup process as short as possible because once we do get later on into the video, we're going to be on higher rounds, and I do kind of want to talk a little bit more and kind of showcase a strategy more. But for starters, we just loaded into Liberty Falls. I definitely recommend playing Liberty Falls if you're going for gobblegums for the sake of just the efficiency that you can fly through these rounds. Obviously, we released a Terminus strategy yesterday that you guys loved, and it is very, very good. But for some reason, I swear Liberty Falls is just quicker, no matter what you do. Now, starting off your game, you're just going to spawn in with whatever gun you want to, of course, but what we're going to be doing, like every other strategy, is prioritizing the GS45s on the wall. Now, if you go to about round 8-ish to 7, 8 to 10, you have a very small chance that that GS45 on the wall will actually turn rare and save you over 1,000 salvage, which in the end comes in clutch because if you can get that lucky in your game, you can have your GS45 legendary triple packed by round 21, which is absolutely insane. So I don't know if our game's going to allow for that because, again, it's kind of not that common to get that in your game. But you can, so do keep on the lookout for that. But regardless, we're going to be buying these at uncommon rarity. Even if, you know, whatever. Just buy them on the wall whenever you have the chance to do it, because that's what we're going to be using mainly for this strategy. Now, we're going to be sitting inside of spawn pretty much until about round 7-ish to 8. I usually try and go for about 13k in essence, which ties into about round 7 or 8. Plus, the beginning rounds are probably going to be the slowest. Gobblegums. Gobblegums are pretty easy to explain, and they're pretty easy to earn. You get gobblegums based off ranking up and progressing through rounds, so that ties into what is the fastest method to go through rounds, but also gobblegums seem to be a lot better in terms of rarity of the gobblegum the higher the round you're on. So this strategy is pretty much going to be a ultimate high round strategy because that's what you're going to want to do. And then later on in the end of the video, we'll swap over to a saved game that I do have, and we'll run through a few rounds and I'll show you guys the strategy on high rounds. But we're going to be doing this basically the entire strategy, and then I'll show you guys what exactly to do, what I do to farm perkaholics, which especially if you guys are going for the Dark Ops challenge of use a perkaholic and then instantly go down, then you're probably going to feel bad about wasting your one and only perkaholic. I currently bought this uncommon, and looking at my screen, we do have this rare, so I'm just going to go ahead and rebuy it. Even though I just wasted a decent amount of essence by rebuying it again, it's going to save us salvage, which is the most important thing in this game. Essence can come as easy as possible, right? It's super easy to get points, it really is. Salvage, not so much. Now, if you want to load into your game without buying this wall buy, then I recommend leveling up the GS45, putting a suppressor on it, and getting it akimbo. If you don't have this leveled up whatsoever, by all means, you can still use it. It is still very, very good, but it's going to be a lot easier to do it when it's akimbo. We just finished round 7. Now, if you can't do this, what I'm about to do, then I would truthfully recommend going through Bowling Alley. But if you can do this little strat with the Ether Shroud, if you do have the augment unlocked, you can actually put this on to basically boost you forward, and you can get out of spawn without opening up any doors. It's actually pretty nice to do. You can just do that, and then you automatically get on the zip line. Now, given if you guys cannot do this, go through Bowling Alley and you'll still have enough points to head over to Pack-a-Punch. But if you can do this, it definitely helps with the strategy. I'm trying to make this strategy a little bit more efficient than other strategies because, you know, saving essence, saving salvage, it all plays a massive role in how far you're going to survive inside of Liberty Falls, which in turn is going to give you more of the rare gobblegums. I really have noticed that, say, I go to round 30, I might get lucky and get a perkaholic or get a crate power, but overall, the rate for them is very, very slow. So I don't really rely on getting those. Now, again, like I was saying at the beginning of the video, going to high rounds, whether it's 40s, 50s, 60s, even to 100, you're gonna find that you literally get gobblegums like crazy. And I'm talking rare gobblegums. It's actually kind of insane how much you do get. Now, right now, we literally are on round 9, and I can tell you this, we're ready to hop into our strategy to fly through these rounds. I would recommend having the Rampage Inducer on for all of this because it's just going to speed up the process a little bit, and also you can use this for XP. But pretty much we're going for gobblegums, and we're not going for the BS gobblegums that we're going to get in a few rounds. We're going for the round 50 to 100 gobblegums, and that might seem crazy to some of you. You guys might be beginners, but trust me, once we cover this strategy throughout this entire video, it is super easy to do. So at the beginning, first few rounds on round, I'd say 10 to 35, you can kind of just sit here on this corner and just shoot your GS45s right here. If you run into trouble, you can either hop down and go to the crafting station and buy yourself a mutant injection, or you can zip line back to that area over at spawn, and you can just keep going back and forth. Now, obviously, whenever you do have some essence, you kind of just want to hop down and buy your perks. For the first few perks, I would recommend PhD. It's a must. You need it 100%. That should be your first perk you buy. Reason is if you go down, you don't lose it. And you want to buy Speed Cola and Juggernog. That will last you until round 25 to where the Wonder Fist spawns in. After you buy all 3 of those perks, every bit of essence you get should literally go straight to packing your weapon and buying a bigger armor vest, because you are going to need it when you're on the higher rounds. Real quick, this strategy could seem crazy because of the mass amounts of manglers, but whenever you get the jet gun later on, there actually is a spot that you can stand. It's like right here, and whenever the manglers do spawn in and they go to blast you from that doorway, because that's the only area they're going to spawn in right there, they will blast into this and it'll actually block the shot from hitting you. That's just a little tip to kind of help you guys out when you're on the higher rounds. That might seem obvious to some, but believe it or not, a lot of people wouldn't know that. So yeah, if you stand kind of in this corner almost like right here, that could pretty much hit that. It hits it a lot. Sometimes it doesn't, sometimes it blocks it. It's a weird kind of spot that I really haven't boiled it down 100% where exactly it's at, but it's kind of in this corner area right here that you can like just stand and try and line it up with the mangler shot, and it could block it, which actually could save your life later on down the road. But as you can see, this is exactly what it is until round 30, and that's literally when you're just going to want to go hit the box after round 30 and get yourself the jet gun. Once we go through a few more rounds, then we'll kind of hop into the very high round strategy, which is a little bit more different, but it's definitely easy. One thing I will say is make sure you're keeping all of your salvage. Try your best not to buy any streaks or not to go down, because all this salvage is going to make a massive change in your game when you're on the higher rounds, considering you're going to want to have streaks. That's kind of really the only easy way to get to high rounds in this game, is using your salvage to buy a ton of mutant injections, which they're 2,500 a pop. So 25,000 gives you 10 rounds of mutant injections, which when you're on round 90, that's going to get you to 100 to get you that dark ops and to also give you more gobblegums. So it definitely is useful. I would recommend, again, using these no matter if you can pull the jet gun on round 10. I would recommend using these all the way to round 30 with suppressor so you can get more salvage in return from the zombies. As you guys can see, no matter what round you're on, it's super easy, and this is exactly how it's going to be until round 30-ish. Like I was saying, you're going to want to get the jet gun. Obviously, you're going to want to pick power-ups up, use your ether shroud if you have it unlocked, or use your energy mine. It's a super easy strategy for sure at the beginning of the game. It doesn't really take long to even get set up. Right now we are a little bit closer to legendary than we were, but we're definitely going to be able to get it soon. Again, you get it by about, I'd say, 21-ish, 23-ish if you used your salvage correctly and you don't waste it on anything. It's super simple to do this strategy. But now let's hop into the big stuff where the gobblegums do come in play. So once again, you're going to want to do this till about round 30, and then you're going to want to start hitting the mystery box to get the jet gun. Once you do get the jet gun, let's go ahead and hop into the strategy that we're going to use to get 30 plus and all the way to 100. Let's do it. Being on these higher rounds, you're going to have obviously your GS45s legendary, triple packed. You're going to still be sitting up here. At the beginning of your rounds, I'd recommend standing in front of that window enough to hit the manglers whenever they do spawn in. Now, again, there's going to be a ton of manglers, so you're going to want to start using your salvage a little bit to buy mutant injections or killing the manglers enough to where you can just find yourself a streak. I'm going to try to go through a few rounds with you guys so you guys can kind of see what it's like. This video might be a little bit longer than expected, but you can, trust me, you can skip right over it. It does not matter. But I think it is very, very important that we kind of talk about these rounds as we're going through them. Now, what I like to do is use the jet gun till it hits about 10, and then I'll use my ether shroud. And only then will I pull out my GS45s and start shooting the Mangler specifically. If an abomination spawns in your round, then that's what your reminder is. It's time to mute and inject. Because fighting an abomination on these higher rounds can be pretty annoying, and it can actually be pretty challenging. So to just get through the abominations extremely quick, I'd recommend just having, you know, a mutant injection, a chopper gunner, one of those two. Again, they're going to be 2,500, but when you first start and you go to round 30, you're going to be saving up a ton of salvage, and throughout the game, I would really recommend trying your hardest not to buy streaks, especially if you're going to be going to 100, which is going to give you the best of what you can actually get through Gobblegums, so you have enough salvage. You don't really want to waste it in the beginning rounds of your long game. You kind of want to use it towards the end, or say, you know, in the 90s or the 80s and stuff like that, which it is super easy to get there. It's not as hard as you guys might think. I know if you're a beginner, you might be like, damn, dude, how am I going to get there? I suck. But trust me, follow the strategy, it'll be super easy. We still sit in here with the jet gun, we use it, we probably just finished a round, I believe, or it's actually almost over. We can go ahead and kill him, just pay attention to our attack map a little bit to know where they're spawning. I think after round 55, the Rampage Inducer does disappear, and it turns off. Obviously, I just rejoined with my save, so the Wonder Fizz isn't spawned in. But that's round 55, that easy. It really is not long, and then obviously you just keep going through these rounds. You're going to keep getting Gobblegums, and keep getting more and more and more and more. It's super simple. It really doesn't take much. You know, you can get through these high rounds super fast. If you guys can see, I almost have 23,000 salvage. I'm just saving that to as long as possible until I really need it to try and push to those higher rounds, about 90-ish, just so I can use it to get to 100, because that's just a cool milestone. Obviously, it's a Dark Ops challenge and stuff like that. But we start running low, we can go ahead and grab that. Nukes, I would recommend picking up after you kill a few Manglers, if it's possible, just so you can try and get some more streaks. It might seem very easy to pick it up, and you might really want to because you might be in a very big pickle. If you are, then pick it up, of course, but if you don't have to pick it up right away, I wouldn't recommend doing it because, again, streaks are really much needed right now. So we got a sentry turret. We don't really need that, but we'll take it for right now because it's still a streak. It still can very much help us, and we got to do the zombies mastery as well. What is that, full power? It's going to be super helpful. Remember that the jet gun does suck up power-ups as well. So like say this nuke, it's going to suck this nuke up. We can just grab it since we're running low on our jet. And we can just start shooting this Mangler, see if he drops anything. He dropped a plate, he didn't drop any streaks. So we're good there, we don't really have to worry about him. It's still round 56. Is it the end of the round? It very much could be. I don't know. I do not hear anything. No, we still got some zombies spawning in. So our jet gun's going to be back at 100 now. We can just come back, sit here, and just hold down our trigger. Now, a lot of you guys like to kind of, you know, press it, release it, press it, release it. But to be fair, I die a lot doing that, so I kind of just hold it down, use my Ether Shroud, which is very easy to get when you're using this on these high rounds. Every time it runs low, just pop the Ether Shroud, and then just swap to the GS45s. It's super simple to do this strategy. It really doesn't take too long to kind of get to high rounds. We're almost done with round 56 already. We've only been in here not too long, which I'm kind of hoping in these few rounds that we do, we can get a Gobblegum so I can show you guys exactly what I mean. But only time will tell. Obviously, the more rounds you do, the more time you're in game, the more Gobblegums you're going to get. A part of me does kind of feel like that. Like, the more time you're actually in game, in the same game, the better Gobblegums you get. Now, that could be false. It's really based off of leveling up and just rounds completed. But nobody truthfully understands it. I'm just kind of guiding you guys with what I know, instead of trying to, you know, lie about it. And there we go, we just went down, but we have quick revive, so we can just kill a zombie and save our self-res. We can use this a little bit. We can Ether Shroud. Try not to glitch into the wall. I'm just going to run over here real quick and buy all of my perks. There we go. And obviously we still have our self-revive. I definitely recommend that augment for quick revive. It's going to save your life. We can use our GS45s on the Manglers, weaken them a little bit, so we don't have any problems with them. We do also have Turtle Shell on. That's going to kind of allow us to basically turn our backs to zombies and not really have to worry about dying. Now, say we run out, we don't have our Ether Shroud active, we just drop down here. You can throw it on a plate or whatever. I'd say pull out your knife because you're just going to be moving a lot quicker. And usually doing this, you're not going to really run into any zombies because hopping down basically respawns the entire round of zombies down there. So you can just turn around, drop down, and run all the way back up here. Now we do have a mutant injection. I'm going to try and save it and just get through this round without using it so we can use it next round, which should be pretty easy. There's an insta-kill right there. Now we're just going to literally destroy this entire round of zombies. There's level 46. We can use our GS45s to try and get more mutant injections on the ground. There we go. We're out of our Ether Shroud. We can kind of just use this, and then we can pull out our jet gun, again, which turtle shell is activated, so we can just turn our backs to everything. We can use our jet gun a little bit, and this round is actually almost over. We just have a few more manglers to do. Ether Shroud, and then there's a full power over there. We can reload these real quick. Yeah, I like to weaken them a little bit so that when I turn my jet gun back on in that area, we can actually just kill them with it, and we don't really have to worry about them. That's the goal. Sometimes you might not be able to kill them with it, but again, just hop down. It's no big deal. Sometimes with turtle shell, I'll actually shoot at my feet. If you consistently plate, you can just do this, but sometimes you're going to run out of plates doing this, of course, but you also can do that sometimes as well. But I would be very careful with it. I know I'm talking a lot, but I'm trying to explain as much as possible through these rounds while we're also getting destroyed by the zombies right now. So I apologize for that, but I'm really trying to explain everything that's needed to know for this strategy. So right now we have 25,000 salvage. That's going to give us 10 rounds of mutant injections. I know I said it earlier, but that is very important to know. So say we wanted to just use all of our salvage right now, we could take all of our salvage and get to round 68 off of just our salvage very easily. That's the easiest way you're going to go through these rounds, is through the actual mutant injections, but you can still get through them very simply with the jet gun, with the GS45s. It's not that hard. Now, let's cover a round with the mutant injections. What should you do? Okay, so usually a lot of people are like, okay, you want to activate your mutant injection and stand in front of that window, but to me that's very wrong, because if you don't let the manglers get through their jump animation, they will not drop salvage for you, which is very, very important. So I kind of recommend just standing a little bit away from that actual window, kind of letting the manglers jump out, kind of letting everything spawn in so you can get the little salvage that does drop. Obviously we have a mega abomination or an abomination. Now, usually you can kill them pretty quickly, so I would really recommend just focusing them no matter what. But I know sometimes you might kind of be in a bit of a pickle with a ton of manglers. But again, remember, the manglers are a lot less dangerous than the abominations. So just use as much as you can of the mutant injection. If only you can use your mutant injection to kill an abomination, that is better than nothing, because I'm telling you guys, on these high rounds, abominations are a pain in the rear. You do not want to be fighting them on these high rounds. So we just got through that mutant injection. We can take down this mangler. He didn't drop us anything. Looks like we're kind of close to the end of the round. Obviously more zombies are about to spawn in, but again, it's a very simple process, man. It does not get much easier than this, and this is a super easy round 100 Dark Ops, again, like I was saying. So I definitely really recommend you guys try this strategy out, or just use this to get Gobblegums in your game. Unfortunately, we've only been through 3 rounds, so we haven't gotten any Gobblegums. We can try and finish this round real fast to see if we can get one on 59, but again, you know, you don't get one every round, right? So you're just going to want to keep doing this till you get your Gobblegums, till you get happy, till you get what you want, and then you will be good. Thank you guys so much for watching this video. I really hope you guys enjoyed. If you did, do not forget to leave a like and subscribe to the channel. We're on the road to 100,000 subscribers. So if you guys haven't yet subscribed, why not? We post all the time. We post 3 times a day. So definitely do it. And I thank you guys so much for all the support. I'll see you guys in the next one. I'm out. Have a good one. Peace.